The Ink and Paint Club podcast is intended for mature audiences only, so don't tell your parents! Listener discretion is advised.
We are pleased to welcome you to the first annual Ink and Paint Club Academy Awards Show. And now, here are your hosts.
Thank you, Justin. Yes, welcome to the Academy Awards Show for the Ink and Paint Club. I am your host, JD, and joining us back from the land of the dead, Mr. Kyle.
Yo, what's up?
Hey. And you know him, you love him. He's the only person that does homework for this show, Matt.
Oh, you love me. You really love me.
Yes, everybody. This is our Academy Awards show for this year. I say for this year because it's like the first time we've ever done this, I think.
Is it really?
I don't know, probably. Time is an illusion to me, and I don't know. But we are going to be talking about the nominees for Best Animated Feature as well as Best Animated Short Film. The short film discussion will be much shorter because only two of them are available publicly.
A short discussion about the shorts?
Yeah, let's have a short discussion about the shorts. So like I said, only Hair Love by Sony, I think, and Kit Bull by Pixar are available publicly. Like most the short films every year, if you want to actually see them, you have to go to like a special screening. I know my theater chain is having a screening of all the short films, but it's not till next weekend, and putting out an Oscar show the day after the Oscars seemed kind of pointless.
Yeah. They were doing that film stuff like at least in LA near me. I don't know if they're doing it in any local theaters, but I did want to try to do that, but I don't know that we're going to do it in time for the shows, so didn't bother. Also didn't bother. Yeah. I didn't look at any of the, because we could only watch two of them like in full and the other ones weren't available. I just decided not to watch any of them just so, I didn't want to have preference because I could watch some of them in full and not the others, so.
Right. No, I understand that. So I didn't actually, I watched Hair Love and Kit Bull before we knew they were going to be nominated. Cause like, I remember Kit Bull, I think came out like really early in 2019 cause Pixar was doing like a shorts, thing. I don't know. They were putting out like shorts from their animators on their YouTube page, which I guess now you can just watch on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's Spark Shorts, right?
Yeah, Spark Shorts. And I do remember Kit Bull being like the standout one from that. The only other one I can really remember offhand is the first one where it has the ball of yarn entering a male-dominated workplace. And it's the first time they say a swear. They say ass.
Oh, for Pixar.
Yeah, at least I think. I don't know if they swore in other Pixar movies, but it was very jarring.
I think they did in Incredibles 2, if I remember right.
Probably. Yeah. That's the more adult movie.
What was the word they said?
I think they said hell.
Probably.
Or damn, I can't remember. Well, it's a mild swear. Of course, they're not going to have a Elastigirl yelling "fuck" at the top of her lungs or anything.
You know what? That'd be a bold choice. They just let the Incredibles say "fuck" once.
Hey, yeah, they're PG. If they were PG-13, they would get one.
So the other, there's three other, shorts nominated. One is called Sister, which is kind of it's stop motion but like done with like felt puppets. You've got one Daughter, which is also I think stop motion. And then you've got the one I feel is most kind of striking from the other three is this one called Memorable. if only because it's also stop motion, but it looks like it's made out of like stucco clay. Like it's very like it's just clay slapped together, but like made into people and stuff.
Yeah, kind of like I said, I didn't watch them and I didn't watch the trailers or anything, just so I could be non-partial. But I did see like little stills from each one, and
Mhm.
that one did kind of. Did you hear of what was it called? Anomalisa, I think it was called.
Oh, Anomalisa.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
not totally like that, but like, I kind of got that vibe.
So yeah, I mean, those look interesting, but they're not easily available. They were probably shown off at like festivals and stuff. That's probably how they got um, nominated. But the two big ones, which honestly, it's probably a toss up between either of these that'll probably actually win, is Kitbull and Hair Love. Now I really liked Kitbull just because the animation's really cute. Obviously, it's a sad animal story, so it kind of gets you in those kind of feels. Dog fighting is bad, everybody.
Oh, is that what that's about? Damn.
Yeah, it's basically like this little kitten, and he lives in a box out back of like this warehouse or something, and then like one day this pit bull is brought in, and it's very explicit that they take the pit bull inside the warehouse for dog fights, and then when it loses it, they just toss him out back. He's all scratched up and bloody and stuff. But the little kitten and the pit bull, hence why it's called Kit Bull, they they're very apprehensive at first, the cat especially. I love the fucking animation for this cat because he's a fucking spaz. But they kind of form a friendship, and the cat helps the dog escape, and they eventually run into someone who's willing to take them in, and they have their happy ending. But I do like this one, if only because the animals aren't like anthropomorphized at all. They're not like given like personality outside of like their actual animals. And again, the fucking spaz of a cat made me like fucking die every time he does something. So, Hair Love is I it's one of those kind of shorts that like to me as a white man, I don't really get much out of. I mean, it's very sweet because it's like this little African American girl like is kind of upset about her like giant poofy curly hair, but her dad, who has like dreadlocks and stuff, kind of helps her reshape her hair into something she thinks is beautiful and stuff. So it's very sweet, and very well animated as well. But I mean, this is Sony and Pixar versus all these little foreign short films. So I imagine probably one of them will win over the other three. But
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah, my only familiarity with Hair Love was I think it was based on a book. I thought I remembered reading that.
it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, and I remembered hearing about the book when it came out. So when I heard that they were doing a short film adaptation of it, I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Kyle, have you seen any of these shorts?
Yeah, I watched Hair Love. Reminded me of an artist I met when I was out and about in LA. Artist's name is, let's see here, Tara Nicole Whittaker. It looked like her art, the design and everything, but surprisingly it wasn't her art. Couldn't find her name. That's short. But it is pretty much 100% what she draws. So very weird. She also works for Disney, so
okay,
might be a thing. I like that. I think you condensed it a little too much.
Yeah.
Unless you didn't want to spoil it for everybody.
Yeah, I condensed a lot.
But I like that one better than Kit Bull because I don't like pit bulls as a dog.
Oh, See, now that's now. So I know there's like so many people that have like an aversion to pit bulls. Like I know a lot of places when you're renting, like they're like top of the breed restriction and stuff. But I gotta say, literally every pit bull I've ever met in my life has been like the sweetest dog.
Yeah, no,
Wouldn't hurt anybody. And I honestly think the whole stigmatism that they're like violent, vicious dogs, and like any dog would be like that if you raise it that way. So
yeah, just unfortunately, it seemed to be linked with that a lot more than other breeds. So
yeah,
That's the funny thing, though, is whenever an attack happens like that, people always say, "Oh, they were the nicest dog. They wouldn't hurt a fly.
mm-hmm.
They wouldn't do anything." Those dogs have a switch in their head that will. That's just what happens. A toddler or anything, they'll fucking kill without any apprehension. I don't like those dogs. I don't like pit mommies, so.
Pit mommies.
Other than that, I didn't think the short was all that bad. I just don't really like the whole pit bull thing.
Right.
You can make a movie like this and have as much propaganda against it.
Yeah.
Seem good, but it ain't gonna change my opinion on them.
Yeah. I personally didn't take it like this is like advocating for like pit bulls specifically. I thought it was more of an anti-dog fighting stance it was taking, and pit bulls are just most commonly used in those.
And not to be racist or anything, but
you can just cut it there. That's fine.
no statement ever no good statement ever comes after "I'm not racist," but
I never said that. That wasn't the phrase, but I found it very laughable that the person that was doing the dog fighting was white.
Yeah, I guess he was.
But I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Anyway, so let's move on to the features.
Yeah. So
well, actually, okay. Well, here, actually, so you guys are probably convinced that it'll probably be one of these two movies that'll win the best animated short. So, like, put your money down. Which one do you think will win?
Personally, I think Hair Love I found it more charming than that one.
I would honestly give it. If I'm going by what I think the Academy will choose, it'll probably be Kit Bull. If only because A, it's Pixar, and B, animal cruelty is bad. So I can see that. Like if I had to like choose of like what has a better message, I guess I would agree with Kyle and Hair Love, just because it has a really good positive message put out there. Not that the Kit Bull doesn't. But I got my money down on Kit Bull for this one.
Sure.
I think the big C is going to win out over animal abuse any day.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to say that Kit Bull probably has the best chance of it just being a Disney Pixar thing, which unfortunately will definitely play into the talks of the animated feature as well.
Yeah,
but just going off of what I know that it's Disney, so it will probably win, and that's going from somebody that didn't watch any of them. So
right. So leave in your comment what you think is going to win, and then we'll check back in a week and see if we were right. So yes, let's move on to the best animated features for this year. We've got How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, Klaus, Missing Link, Toy Story 4, and I Lost My Body. Surprisingly, I thought we would have done a review of How to Train Your Dragon, at least, but we only got to Klaus and Toy Story this year. Missing Link we completely skipped over, and I Lost My Body I didn't even know existed until the nominations came out. Which I feel bad because I've literally been meaning to watch this movie for like a week and a half, and I just have not gotten around to it. And it's on Netflix and everything, so it's like no excuse.
Yeah, I think because Kyle, you said you weren't able to check it out, right?
I didn't check out the Body one and How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay, yeah, those were because I'd watched the other 3, like when they had come out, and so How to Train Your Dragon 3 and I Lost My Body were I watched both of those today before recording the episode, so I made sure. I guess I was able to watch all 5, so I was satisfied with that, even though I wasn't able to watch all the shorts. So
Sure. Tell us about I Lost My Body, because I watched the trailer for it and it looked interesting. I didn't really know what to make of it just from the trailer. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So I Lost My Body is it's a French animated film. It's kind of like a non-linear. Well, I mean, it's linear in a certain aspect. It's dealing with like 2 different. Okay, basically, it starts with like the flashbacks to like this person's like childhood and stuff. There's a lot of like imagery fixated like on hands in the movie. Yeah, like, so that this character is like the main character, and then like it goes to like a scene of like a hand in a refrigerator, that like I can't remember exactly how that happened, like something like the fridge opened, like the hand fell out and stuff. But yeah, the hand's able to like move on its own, and it's like moves around kind of like the thing from Adam's Family. Yeah, so there's this like they'll go from like one scene of like the hand like just sort of going across Paris, trying to find its owner, and then like it'll go to another scene where it's like this the hand's owner going through like like a bit in his life, like he's really bad at his job. His parents died when he was young, so he's living with like his estranged uncle and his like awful cousin. Yeah, and it's like he's like a really bad delivery boy. Like he always delivers like pizzas late and stuff, so he's costing his employer like money and stuff. He comes across this this woman like like the apartments, they have like the little intercom system to like buzz you in. Yeah, so he talks with this woman over like the intercom, like the door's busted, so he's not able to make the delivery, but like he has this connection with this woman. And he goes through like he tries to find out like who that is, like using like clues from their conversation, because he like wants to actually meet her in person. So they basically, like, half of this movie is like a love story, like a little stalkery, and then that does get addressed, and then like the other half of the story is like this disembodied hand trying to find its owner. So obviously, like, when you get closer to like the point in the story where the 2 timelines would like converge and you get like the full story of like what's been going on, then yeah, it's really strange. It's I did like it. It was very good. I watched the original French audio. I did flick over to the dub for a bit just to see what it was like, but I stuck with the original just because. Yeah, it's realistic for the most part, except for like the hand thing, which I do want to say they don't address how or like why that's that way. It's just the hand just moves on its own. It's not like the owner has control over it or anything. I don't think like a single human in the movie actually sees the hand at any point like that. Like I think a baby does, and then like a drunk dude does, but like I think that's it.
Okay, because I was from the trailer. I was wondering if like the hand thing was going to be like a literal or like a metaphorical thing.
Yeah, they kind of play like it is. It does seem to be a literal thing, but nobody acknowledges it, and it's
Right.
there are like bits in the film where there's like sort of like daydreamy sequences and stuff, like from the actual guy and from the hand and stuff. It's very strange, but it is very neat. The movie is rated R, I believe, that's only because there is like a few seconds of some people fucking.
Oh wow. Okay.
Nothing too explicit, because I think it's like a little bit off screen, but it's like they're very clearly fucking. And then there's the actual scene where you see the hand get like chopped off at the wrist.
Okay.
And that's like very bloody. And actually the whole like within the first 20 minutes, I can't remember exactly when it happens, but there's this scene of the hand like hanging out in the top of a storm drain, and it's right next to like a pigeon's nest, and the pigeon comes and it tries to like topple the hand over and push it over down onto the street, and like just as it's about to fall, the hand grips the pigeon by the neck, and the pigeon's like freaking out and flying around, and like the pigeon flies down the storm drain and inadvertently ends up snapping its own neck, like from the force. Like that. Yeah, it was really brutal. It took me off guard. I wasn't expecting to see that. Like, yeah. Other than that, yeah, it's mostly just like it's like a half exploratory movie and then half just sort of like love story. I definitely recommend checking it out. If you have Netflix, it's on there. It's a Netflix movie. It's like an hour and a half. It's a breezy watch. It's a, yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out. As far as if it has any good chance of getting best animated, I don't know. Like, I have a feeling if they would have done this movie in live action, it probably would have more of it, because the type of movie that this is, I feel is very much like, I don't want to say Oscar bait, because it's not like movies I would typically refer to as Oscar bait, but when I think of like a foreign movie that's up for like an Oscar, this is like the type of like the way that the story is done and stuff. It very much gives me that vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that it has a very good chance of taking the best animated, but I feel like if it were in live action, it might have had a better chance, like a best foreign film or something.
Gotcha. Yeah, granted I haven't seen it, so I can't have a fully informed decision here. But yeah, just with its competition this year, especially, I don't have a lot of.
Most of the time, foreign films don't tend to take it. Like, I think the last time that happened was what, Spirited Away, and like even that had Disney money behind it.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody knows that foreign films aren't real films,
right?
Says the man that champions French animation.
That's different.
Okay, French animation's different.
French animation's great. It
is great. I am thoroughly impressed anytime I watch a French animated film, because goddamn, they put a lot of effort into like 2D animation and 3D, I guess.
Well, and also they're the only ones out there that are like doing like adult animated stuff too. So
yeah,
like features.
Well, unless it's like anime, but Japan is its own weird thing. So
yeah, that doesn't count. They're a whole industry over there.
Yeah. So let's talk about How to Train Your Dragon, because that was the first thing on this list to come out this last year.
I do want to put a disclaimer. I never saw the second movie. I did see the first movie when it came out. So
I watched the trailer. You'll know.
Yeah, literally all you need to know from the second movie is that Hiccup's mom comes back.
Yeah, well, and also because like there's like the TV shows and stuff they did. I'm not sure like how integrated and stuff that is. Is it okay? Yeah, like I said, just hard to tell, because the last thing that I saw from How to Train Your Dragon was would be a decade ago now, because I think How to Train Your Dragon 1 came out in 2010.
Something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so I tried to watch it kind of like on its own merits, as just being, as just a movie, not like, being the third movie in a trilogy. And it was a little hard because it's a very well animated movie. I would say it looks very good. The stylization is very nice.
Yeah, it's the weird thing is that I give DreamWorks a lot of shit because they make weird movies.
With dance party ideas.
Yeah. But you get occasionally for DreamWorks like a really well crafted, just like good movie, and I feel like the Dragon series has been like consistently good. Kung Fu Panda has also been like surprisingly good pretty much all the way through. So you just occasionally get like these gems from DreamWorks, and I feel like the Dragons movies have really been that for them, even if they have like milked the crap out of it.
I don't know that they're gonna, just going off of the ending of that movie, I guess they're done with them.
No, because, well, I don't know if they're doing any more, but they did a Christmas special that takes place after the end of the movie
Oh, really?
with like adult Hiccup and everything.
Oh, okay.
I didn't watch it, but I saw like a teaser poster for it, and I think it came out this past Christmas.
So they don't know how to let shit go either, just like just like Pixar with Toy Story 4.
Yeah,
Money makes the world go round.
it's true. We got to make them toys, man. I feel like that's half the reason they keep making Dragons movies. It's like we need to make new Dragon toys.
Yeah, I don't know how
But-
well those actually sell. I mean, I work at a Target, and I've seen our sections for the How to Train Your Dragons toys, and I don't know. I've seen more of them go on clearance than I've ever seen anyone ring them up. So, although I'm not always in that section, so I can't speak for every single person that comes in the store. I'm sure everyone I'm not looking at's buying Dragons toys.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah. Do you own any Dragons toys, JD?
I don't. Because I'm a grown man.
I don't know. You seem like the type that might.
Kyle and I's toy preferences are more refined, right, Kyle?
Yeah, I doubt that yours is as refined as mine.
Not even close. Kyle's house is a flipping museum.
Yeah.
It's
Kyle spends thousands of dollars on statues and toys.
He sure does.
I don't go for fucking Target, Toys R Us, though.
If it's not over $300, it's not worth it.
Yep.
But yeah, Melanie and I actually had I don't know if I've said this on the show before, but Melanie and I actually got to see Dragons 3 like a week early through some kind of Fandango event. I just got like a random email one day and it was like, hey, you want to see Dragons 3 a week early? And I'm like, sure. So we did.
So you did.
We did that. It was, I think in terms of a finale for the Dragon series, it was fine. I think I like the second one the best out of the three of them, and I've never watched any of the TV show. But it's a serviceable ending. The whole thing, it did seem kind of rushed at the end, where Hiccup is like, okay, well, you need to go be the Dragon King now. I'm gonna let you go. And then literally like 2 seconds later, it's like, okay, flash forward to the future.
Yeah.
And now we see Toothless again, even though we saw him a minute ago. It just seemed like there needed to be a little more time in between those two events, even though it was like the end of the movie.
I feel like they were just afraid to leave it at that, like to just end the movie on them parting ways.
Just like, I don't know. I feel like there's so many movies I see where there's like a little bit extra to the ending that like the movie would be way better off if they just cut. Mel and I were talking about this earlier, but Joker, which is also up for a bunch of nominations this year.
Every fucking nomination, jeez. I think it's up for the most nominations. If I'm not.
Yeah, I think it has the most nominations this year. Spoilers for Joker, I guess. At the end of the movie, you see the famous Batman's parents gunned down in an alley thing, pearls and everything. And I just feel that whole thing is unnecessary.
It's a Batman movie. They have to. They showed all the kid Bruce Wayne. It's like when you show a gun. What was it? When you show a gun in the first act, you have to show dead parents in the third. Like,
well, okay. So, I'm sorry, everybody. This is kind of a tangent. Because what happens? There's like this big riot going on because the Joker was arrested, and there's this big riot going around, and they like bust him out of the police car and everything. So there's this big riot going on, and then you see like Bruce Wayne and his parents like duck down an alley to get out of the riot, and you see a guy see them go down the alley, turns and follows them. That would have been enough for me. I was like, okay, everybody knows the Batman history. I'm pretty sure we know what that implies. But no, they flash back to it to show the guy following him down and gunning them down and watching Bruce mourn over his parents. And I'm like, no, you don't need that. Just leave the guy going down the alley, and I can work with the implications that it.
Now, would you have been okay with them going up to that point if they'd gone with their original ending, which was supposed to be, or I'm not sure if it's the original ending or it was at least one that they were considering, where Arthur Fleck is the one that goes down that alley. He guns them down, and he sees, it's Bruce there by himself, and he guns him down too. So that would have put it like in some weird Elseworlds territory where he wouldn't be Batman. Like, would you have been satisfied with that if going that far?
No, I don't like how Tim Burton's Batman was like, the guy who would become Joker was the one, or isn't it Tim Burton's Batman where
it's Jack Napier? Yeah, he's the one that guns down.
He's the one that kills his parents.
Yeah,
I didn't like that twist. I don't know. I'm not a fan of like Joker and Batman's backstories being so intertwined like that, like from when he's a little kid. I don't know. It's just weird to me. But yeah, just like have the guy just turn down the alley right after the Waynes go down there and just leave it at that, and I'd be happy. But no. See, even Scout agrees with me.
I doubt that.
He doesn't watch movies. He a dog.
Take your dog out to more movies.
Yeah, Kyle. Why don't you take your dog to the movies? Just get him licensed as a service dog, and you can take him everywhere.
What's the service? It's watching movies.
Scout's a film critic. He needs to see the movies.
Yeah. He just has a little vest on that says film critic on it.
Kyle, can I get a vest for your dog that says that?
If you want.
Will you make him wear it?
If you want to waste your money, JD.
Don't tell me how to waste my money.
But anyway, yeah. So, How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Yeah, it's a fine movie. I think if you're watching it, overall with the other two, it all coheses, for the most part.
But as far as his chances, like,
I don't see it. I don't see it winning, honestly.
Did I watch it? No, I didn't.
You didn't watch the Dragons?
Nope.
Oh.
I had zero desire to watch this movie.
Yeah, I feel you. So let's talk about a movie that we didn't review and I didn't watch until like 3 weeks ago. After it like won at the Golden Globes, I think.
Which was definitely a surprise.
It was very surprising. Missing Link, Laika's latest movie. I kind of wrote off as just like, oh, this is going to be another Box Trolls, which I don't particularly care for. So I really put off seeing it. But then, yeah, I got Best Animated at the Golden Globes. I'm like, okay, did I miss something? So I finally sat down and watched it because I think it's also on Netflix right now. And I was very surprised. It was actually a very good movie.
I would say that marketing ruined the movie for me because
I would say that marketing is Laika's greatest enemy.
It really is.
It seems
it just looked like it was going to be poo-poo humor, and wasn't really a fan of that.
Yeah,
it had quite a bit.
Yeah, I was in the exact same camp.
Like,
not a fan of it.
Yeah, and that's reasonable. I am a champion of Laika. I enjoy them immensely. I've been to multiple exhibits to check out like the figurines in person. When Box Trolls, not right when it came out, but some months after that, there was a triple showing of Coraline, Paranorman, and Box Trolls that they did in LA. They had the figures on display. I went to go see that. They had like Ben Kingsley and Travis Knight and stuff there. It was pretty awesome. I would say that. Okay, well, specifically on Missing Link, I did enjoy it. I don't think that it's Laika's strongest work. I,
No, not at all.
yeah, I would put it like, because we talked about like Paranorman on the
Best of the decade thing.
yeah, the best of the decade show. I would definitely consider that to be Leica's best. As far as Missing Link goes, I think I would put it over Box Trolls in my opinion, but like I don't hate Box Trolls. I do enjoy it. I just I don't know what it is. I don't resonate as well with that one as I do with the other Leica movies, but I do enjoy all of them.
Yeah, for sure. I still maintain that Box Trolls, like you said, is not a bad movie, but is Leica's weakest movie.
Yeah.
I would need to watch Coraline again because I've not watched it in years, but I would kind of put Missing Link either a little above Coraline or kind of on par with Coraline.
Coraline, what it has working for it is Henry Selick being the director, so you got that pedigree of like, you know, Nightmare Before Christmas and James and the Giant Peach behind it.
Right.
Which honestly was like the best move that I think Leica could have made as far as like their first movie, like putting it out there. Like it was a, you know, very good first offering.
That pretty much sold that movie. So
Yeah,
because I think they market it as like as the director of Night Before Christmas because everyone does that for all of Selick's movies.
They do that because they want dummies to think, oh, this is a Tim Burton movie. And it's like,
dude,
he has nothing to do with it.
I had friends in high school who I had to correct constantly. Everyone thought that Coraline was a Tim Burton movie. It's like, no.
The only stop motion movie that Tim Burton's done himself was Corpse Bride and Frankenweenie. I just remembered Frankenweenie while I was saying that, but what happened before then would have been Corpse Bride. But specifically on Missing Link, I'm glad that it got, because it seems that Leica was constantly getting shafted at these award shows, and I have a very deep love for stop motion films, so it's specifically Leica's like so the fact that Missing Link got the Golden Globe for Best Animated was very cool. Obviously award shows are just award shows, but the thing is, like, it legitimizes stuff in a lot of people's eyes to have them win awards and stuff. So if that means it's going to get more eyes on a studio that I enjoy, and that's going to get them to do more, you know, films and stuff, then I would definitely be hoping that they, you know, I would hope that Miss Link gets the Academy Award for Best Animated. I don't know how well its chances are, but I mean, I would say that they're better now that they got the Golden Globe.
And what I find more surprising than the fact that they actually won, they beat out 3 other Disney movies.
Yeah,
which kind of shows you how weak Disney was this year.
Because it was going against Lion
King, Frozen, and Toy Story.
Yeah, and it's only against Toy Story.
It beat out all 3 of them.
And it's only going against Toy Story for Best Animated, because Toy Story is the only Disney movie on the Oscar list.
Yeah, dude, when Frozen 2 didn't get nominated, I was like, damn.
Which is crazy, because I think that was a better movie than Toy Story 4, I think.
Toy Story 4 was not great.
I think I might be inclined to agree with you. I think I might have liked Frozen 2 more.
Just as like a sequel, like, I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed we'll talk about Toy Story, but
yeah.
Well, actually, you guys already talked about. You actually did do a review on Toy Story already, right?
Yeah. So the other 2 movies that are nominated this year are Klaus and Toy Story 4, which we have done reviews for. But I kind of want to just talk about them in the context of like best animated contenders.
Yeah.
Now, I think that Klaus has actually a very good chance this year. In every award show, major award show that it has been a part of, because it got snubbed at the Golden Globes, but every other major award show that seems to be a part of, it is cleaned up. Which it deserves to be, because Klaus is a beautiful movie, and if you haven't watched, even, I know it's not Christmas anymore, but by God, go watch it.
Yeah.
So, and I think having both Klaus and I Lost My Body, which are both Netflix movies, kind of legitimizes Netflix in the Academy voters' eyes, because I think like Irishman is also nominated. That helps. It's Scorsese, but that's also a Netflix movie. Roma was nominated, won a bunch of stuff last year. That was a Netflix movie. So I think Netflix is finally getting legitimized, and having two Netflix movies in the animated category. I think again legitimizes Netflix and shows that it doesn't have to be just the big studios getting their movies in there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's very cool that Netflix has two and like Disney only has one for best animated. Like that's incredible. That's a miracle.
Yeah. And I mean, Netflix will just kind of put their money behind, whatever they think is interesting. I mean, it just shows, movies, animation, and I mean, even if it's not something they produce themselves, they'll pick up the rights for. So I mean, just the fact that because I was worried that Klaus wasn't gonna get like a major release when it first it was getting kickstarted and all that stuff, and then they announced that like, oh, we've been picked up to be an exclusive Netflix, and I'm like, okay, great. I mean, that means more people are going to get to see it, and apparently it's done really well awards wise. I haven't really seen anybody have a negative review about it.
Yeah, I would say more people enjoyed Klaus than they did Toy Story 4.
Yeah, I mean, Toy Story 4 still made a fuck ton of money.
Well, yeah, of course.
I mean, okay. So Toy Story 4 is another one. We mentioned earlier that Dragons was having a hard time letting go of its characters. Not only is Toy Story 4 indication that Pixar can't let go of Toy Story. I don't know if it's come out yet, but I remember seeing something that they were making a short film about Woody and Bo that is post Toy Story 4.
Like the Dragons thing.
Right, exactly. It is after the movie. And it's like, guys, the movie has like such a finality to it. Leave it be. But they probably need more material for Disney Plus, so gotta get that shit in there.
Well, listen, I'll just say that I'd be more inclined to watch more Toy Story stuff than any of the multimedia like enterprise that they're trying to turn like Cars into.
Yeah.
Because I would say that as far as like toy sales and stuff go, like I would say, I would even say that Cars might sell better than Toy Story, like just based on like.
Dude, I'm convinced that's the only reason they made Cars sequels is because we need to sell more cars.
Yeah, and like
because little boys like cars.
Yeah, the sure damn do. The Cars and Larry the Cable Guy. That's the boys' two biggest favorite things.
So what are we thinking? What would you guys put money down as to be the favorite this year?
I want to say Klaus, but it's probably going to be Toy Story.
Matt,
I'm a little torn. I Dragons for sure, definitely not. Toy Story, I would say, definitely has the biggest chance, just given the history behind the best animated award, and Disney that tends to favor them just because they're Disney, and the judges on the board kind of snub their nose at animation, so they just write down Disney because they know that's it's Disney, so I'm sure it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they didn't watch it. I want to say because last year was the year that Into the Spider-Verse won, right?
Yes.
So it sort of broke that chain of just Disney constantly sort of getting their default award,
right,
based solely on the fact that
they're Disney.
Well, so and the reason
Oh,
Spider-Verse
sorry.
one is because of this, the overall reception to it was just so universal, like that. I didn't see anyone saying anything bad about that movie, but also just because of the animation itself, how the movie looked, was just unlike anything that we've seen. I want to say based on that sort of idea, I would think that Klaus has a very good chance of it, just because
Mhm.
in the very same way, like the way that movie looks and is animated and stuff. I mean, there's no other movie out there looks the way it does. Um,
Yeah.
Personally, I would love for Missing Link, even though Missing Link is not my favorite Leica movie. I would love to see stop motion get its like due at the at the Academy Awards. Like I think
Mhm.
the only stop motion movie that's ever won this award was Wallace and Gromit. I think when it was nominated, I think it won that award. I could be wrong.
Uh, yeah, I'm not sure.
I know it was nominated. If it didn't win, then yeah, then it's never gotten its due. But I
Right.
mean, there's just constant years of just like like always being up for the award and getting snubbed. Wes Anderson's stop motion efforts being
Mhm.
nominated, getting snubbed. I would love to see stop motion legitimized. I'd like to see it given its due. As a personal choice, I would like Missing Link. As far as what's likely, if we're just discluding the whole Disney thing, I would say Klaus. And like I said, I made a case for I Lost My Body. Like I feel like it would be more likely to win awards if it were live action.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so I would say
Okay.
most likely Klaus. I'm going to predict it's Klaus, but I hope it's a Missing Link.
Okay. As for me, I'm kind of a little bit in Kyle's camp here. Um, I am pulling hard for Klaus. Like, I think it has a lot going for it. Again, all the other award shows it's been a part of, it is cleaned up. It is constantly being given praise, critics and audience. Um, I would say Toy Story if I wanted to be safe. What I think, what I want, and what I think is plausible is Klaus. I totally get where you're coming from, Matt, wanting a stop motion effort to finally win this award if it hasn't already. I don't think it has. I had to do more research on that. But I think just the amount of effort and mastery that went into Klaus, basically just making this 2D animated movie almost look 3D. Just the character expressions, how fluid it is, and it was. You can almost call Klaus an independent movie just because of the how outside the regular studio system it was made. I don't know, man. I'm pulling hard for Klaus. I wanna see it win. But we've got a week, a little less than a week when this goes up, to see who actually takes the award. Post in your comments before Sunday night, who you think's gonna win, and we'll all compare notes. Tell us who you want to win short film and animated feature, and hell, go for the other awards if you feel like sharing. So, well, there you go, guys. There's our thoughts, feelings, our predictions for the Oscars this year. Hopefully, it's not like 6 hours long, and hopefully the host doesn't suck. I don't even know who's hosting this year. I haven't bothered to look. But all that good stuff. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you, you two, good chums for being here. And to everybody, have fun watching the Oscars, and we'll catch you again on Monday to commiserate or celebrate victory. So, all right. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the show. Join our Discord to chat with us, and subscribe to our Patreon for some cool bonuses. Links are in the description. We'll see you next time.